Hello friends, welcome to yet another video. If this is your first time here, my name is Niels and I like photography. And on this YouTube channel we are exploring photography together, you and I. If you are starting with photography, chances are you are exposed to the wide array of camera brands. And if you are into street photography, you are likely to consider investing in either a Ricoh GR or a Fujifilm system or maybe Canon or Nikon. To be honest, all cameras take great photos and each brand has their stronger and their weaker points, and you have to consider for yourself which brand suits your needs. But there is one brand that really stands out, one brand with almost a mythical status: Leica. For the past few weeks I had the opportunity to shoot with this Leica M6, and in this video we are going to try and answer the question, is it worth the money? Or is the whole Leica experience just some camera snob BS? Let's find out. Leica is a brand with history. Some of the greatest photos of all time were shot using Leica cameras. Some of the greatest photographers used Leica. This is the Leica M6. I have loaned it from my favorite camera store, Colorwood. It's an analog 35mm film camera, and this one has a 35mm f1.4 lens. In this video I show you some images I've shot using Ilford XP-2 as well as Kodak Color Plus film. But this video is not about my images nor about the film I have used, but it's about the experience of shooting a Leica. So let's get into that. I would advise everybody to start shooting analog. Of course, there are some downsides to shooting film, like the costs, the slow process between developing and scanning your film, and not having the instant feedback from your LCD screen. But there are some very good arguments to start shooting film anyway. First of all, you learn photography in a different way. You can't really rely on your post-processing, your ISO is fixed within the film you use, and you have only 36 exposure in one roll of film, so that makes you shoot a little bit more thoughtful. You compose more careful, and after scanning and seeing what you have shot, you really get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You have visualized an image, you have captured that image, and with the help of chemicals in a real-life process of developing your film, you then get to see your image. And that is very, very fun. When you hold this camera for the first time, you cannot deny the build quality. It feels like it's carved out of a solid piece of metal. The focusing ring and aperture ring move very smooth, and it doesn't have any bells and whistles, just pure beautifulness. That's not a word, is it? The way you load the film is very nice as well. You open the bottom lid and you slide the film in. The camera has a very nice and well-functioning light meter as well, which is very basic. It just consists of two red triangles, and when you see both of them, your image is well exposed. If you only see the left triangle, it means your image is underexposed, and if you only see the right triangle, it means your image is overexposed. It really is quite simple. The only thing you cannot forget is to set the right ISO of the film you are using. You can do this on the back of the camera. Shooting with it is equally fun, educating, and confronting. I am used to autofocus, and focusing manually in street photography for me can be quite challenging. I have shot in bright conditions, so I just used a shutter speed of 1/500th of a second, and I adjusted the exposure by using the aperture. At first I wanted to make a POV experience video of me shooting with the Leica in the streets, but I soon realized that I needed all my focus on taking the photos, so I decided not to make a video while shooting, but just make a video like this, talking about it and showing you the shots and showing you the camera. I think it's better for all of us. If you would like to see a POV style video of me on the streets taking photos, let me know in the comments below. I also met my friend Julian, aka the Analog Film Geek, who knows everything about analog photography and who is very willing to teach me a few things. And the last few shots I took were actually some portraits of him. A couple of weeks ago I made a big reset in the way I practice my photography and video making. I decided I really want to invest in getting better as a photographer and learning from the photos I made. Because of this I also started printing my work. Shooting with a camera like this really helps with learning photography. It's not about megapixels, burst modes, ISO performance and all the other stuff we tend to find more important than we really shoot. No, it's about photography. I have made some very personal as well as some all-round photos, and I really enjoyed watching these photos coming out of the printer and into real life. So the big question, is buying a Leica camera worth it? Well, photography should be fun. It should be about exploring what you find beautiful or interesting, and it should be about using photography as a means to show that to the rest of the world. You don't need expensive gear, you don't need a lot of gear, you just need the will and the enthusiasm to do photography. But I do have to admit, shooting an expensive, well-made, high-quality camera is fun. But is it worth all the money? Well, I cannot really decide that for you. I'm very interested to hear what you think of this. Would you buy a Leica? Or if you have bought a Leica, what were your considerations and what made you buy a Leica in the first place? Let me know in the comments below, because I am truly interested in hearing your thoughts about this. For me, at the level of photography I'm at right now, I feel like I don't really need a Leica. But maybe a Leica camera is not a camera you need. Maybe it's just a camera you would want. So that's it for this video where I share my first impressions of shooting with a Leica. Let me know what your thoughts about this brand and the considerations whether or not to invest a tremendous amount of money in a camera like this. I'm interested to hear your thoughts and considerations about this. Stick around on his YouTube channel if you want to see more videos about all sorts of photography. I mostly shoot street, but I'm doing some other stuff as well. On the day I'm releasing this video, I am out with my dad in his camper van going on a landscape photography trip. So next week's video will be all about that. So stick around on the channel and I'll see you next week. Peace.